And we're going to have a good time no matter what. So, are you ready, my friend? I've seen this guy. One thing the comics say, or as we host or something, is sometimes you go, "This guy is a great personal friend of mine, and I've played with him in Milwaukee and New York and Las Vegas and Boston." That's not true here. I don't really know this guy. And even if you hear all that stuff, it's all a lie. We're lying our asses off. I had a guy one time in Atlantic City say, "Hey, here's a real good friend of mine, and I've known him for 5 years." I didn't even know the guy's name. I didn't even know he was the host till he got on stage. No clue. And all of a sudden I hear him introduce me, and I'm like, shit. Well, my new best friend has decided that I'm next. I wish he'd asked me as a friend, you know, and should have showed some concern and realized I wasn't ready to go. So, let me give you my friend here. That being said. He does play in some local areas and runs his own open mic over in St. Mary's once a month. And I've seen him around in Topeka, Manhattan, doing all kinds of stuff. And he is a pretty funny guy. I don't care what anybody says. Let me give him the mic to him. His name, Benedict Dombrowski. Did I say your name right?
Ben Dombrowski.
Ben Dombrowski.
Thank you, John. I kind of think the introduction should be more like, this guy's got some material for open mic. That's kind of like having a face for radio, you know? Kind of playing me up a little bit. So, I've been doing open mic a little bit here and there, and we do some poetry, we do some music, some karaoke and stuff, but I kind of gravitate towards comedy. I kind of like comedy. Everybody likes to laugh, right? But I remember the first joke I told, the very first joke I told intentionally was when I was in a grocery store with my mother, and she was pushing the cart down the aisle, and I was walking next to her, and she put a couple of bottles of baby powder into the cart. And I looked at that and I said, "Hey, Mom, I heard they call that baby powder because it's made out of a baby." It's not bad for a 7-year-old, right? A little wordplay. She goes, "It's not made out of a baby, it's 4 babies." I'm like, 4 babies, Mom? In each bottle, that's like 8 babies in there. So, no, she was a good supporter. She always took care of me. When I was in junior high, I went on a field trip. It was a long trip to the place we were going. Everybody was kind of tired and restless when we got there. And big, tall kid starts taking stuff out of the overhead compartment, handing it out. I see my winter coat. He's about to hand it to me, and he's showered with multiple pairs of underwear. Tighty whities just come cascading down on his head. He's like, "Oh, this is gross. This is disgusting." And he's like, "Oh," he's fighting them off like he's in some low-budget horror film, Attack of the Killer Moths. And kids are going nuts. Teacher's like, "Everybody settle down off the bus. We'll take care of this." So on the way home from the museum, we're talking about how much fun it was, how much a good time we had. And Sean Conklin's like, "Well, it started off with me getting 50 pairs of dirty underwear dropped on my head. That wasn't very fun." I didn't say anything at the time, but I was thinking that underwear wasn't dirty. You might be ahead of me on this one. How did I know that? Well, it's a good question. It was the same way I knew that there weren't 50 pairs. There were exactly 7. You see, I wasn't much of a preparer when I was a kid that morning. I woke up late, grabbed my coat off the floor in my bedroom, ran out to catch the bus. And in fact, the night before, I didn't prepare very well either. My mom said, "Hey, Ben, remember to take your winter coat. You left it in the living room. It's going to be cold tomorrow." I said, "All right, Mom, thank you." And I just did whites. There's a whole bunch of underwear for you in the dryer. Take it and put it away. I'm like, "I will. I'll put it away, Mom." Grabbed the underwear, threw it in the hood of my coat. Went upstairs, threw it on the bedroom floor, and played some video games for a couple hours. I went to bed. So that's the whole story of how I lost a week's worth of underwear in Boston at the Computer Museum. But, so those are just a couple of stories. There's another story. I actually got kicked out of a Sonic once. Hey, anybody ever been kicked out of a Sonic? I mean, you don't even go into them. It's like, they just, what do they take your keys? Find out what happened here. So I was sitting there on the open tables, and I already put my card and got paid. And I was chatting with a friend who lives in Uruguay. And I was telling her I'm at a drive-in, and she's like, "What? They have drive-through, but they don't have drive-in." And she's like, KS drive-in. I'm like, "Okay, well, let me show you." So I took a picture of the menu, took a picture of like the cars and the bays and stuff in the building, and she's like, "Oh, that's nice." So I told her I'm just waiting for my food. A couple minutes later, this kid comes out, 15-year-old kid. He goes, "Excuse me, sir, it's going to be a few more minutes for your food. We're making fresh canned burger patties." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. I understand." So he goes back in, and I'm waiting. And then 2 cops come up, and they say, "Hey, how you doing tonight?" I said, "I'm doing all right. Just waiting for my food." They said, "We got a report that there's an old guy out here taking pictures." And I said, "Yeah, that's a correct report. That was me." And they said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I got a friend in Uruguay. He hasn't seen one of these things." So I said, "You guys know the story. I just told you, right?" So, and they're like, "Well, they feel uncomfortable. They want you to leave." I think you're mistaken. I just talked to a guy who came out not 2 minutes ago, and he said they were making fresh hamburger for me. He goes, and then it occurred to me, he was calling me. I was pretty proud of that kid, Go out and tell this creepy old man taking pictures of the building that you were holding them off for a bit. I mean, they get rattled when they have to make change that they're not expected. You ever see them out there when you give them change for something and they go to that little... It's like when you hear a rattlesnake in the wilderness, you know that you're dealing with something that's afraid it's probably going to attack or freak out. You give a Sonic guy the wrong, change, like you change it up on him, and he has to figure it out, do math, and instead of things, they pay out. They pay out. I call that like the Sonic bonus. You screw them up a little bit, and they give you extra money. They just want to get you out of there. So then they're like, "Yeah, you gotta get moving." I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't mind." But I'm kind of impressed by that kid who came out here. He's like, "I'd like to get my picture taken with a kid. Send them out for a selfie." They wouldn't do it. But I realized that day that at a certain age, I hit the point where I just see daylight. I just walk out the door and I'm already like a 5 on the creepy scale. I mean, you used to have to start at 0, and then you see somebody and then you see like a girl, you'd be like, "Hey, your hair looks like it smells real pretty," and then you go up, but. And then you have to do other things, get down, but you don't want to be like up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on that creepy scale. You're going to get in trouble. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't with any kids or with my wife. So basically, just sitting down there, planting down in that thing, they were like, "Yep." You take a picture, you're already like a 9.5. So trying to lose some weight. I like the frozen pizzas. I used to get the 5 cheese frozen pizza, but I cut back. I'm going down just to 4 cheese. That ought to help a bit. Thinking about getting a Fitbit. I like this bit right here. That would be a little more fit. But I had an idea for a company. I wanted to sell, have an online store where I sold tools for cooking and baking. But then I was talking to all the website designers, and they said that they wouldn't do a cookie cutter website. So I got stuck. But somebody asked me the other day, is like, "What would you do if you had a time machine? If you could go back in time, would you do anything different?" And I said, "Well, would I still have all the knowledge and wisdom that I have now? Would I go back with that? Would I have everything that I have now?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "Then I would do a lot of things different. I mean, went through a lot of heartache and trauma to get to where I am." So he goes, "I think if I went back, I wouldn't do anything different, because all that stuff made me who I am today." And I said, "You're an idiot. You just said that you would still have all that stuff. Why go through all the same crap?" Let me give you an example. If I was walking down the street and I saw an old woman with an apple pie, and I thought that looked like a really good apple pie, and I took it from her, go home, start eating my apple pie, and you say to me, hey, if you could go back in time, would you do anything different? Immediately, that woman's face, the sadness she expressed when I took her pie would probably pop in my mind, and I would reconsider that. But I would ask you, if I went back, would I still have my pie? And you could, well, yeah. Well, then I probably wouldn't have taken hers, because I would have started off this timeline with one. But that's how I'm probably, yeah. I'm guessing that's probably how I'm going to go. Everybody has some idea, maybe some vague idea how they're going to die. It's probably going to be some kind of foodborne illness or some kind. It's not even like food poisoning, like I didn't see it coming. Like I'm pretty sure it's like somebody around me is going to be like, I don't think you should eat that, and then it's going to be like a funeral time. I just don't have that gauge, that compass. You would think the easiest lesson to learn in life is not to eat hot food right out of the microwave. Every single time, I do it. Microwaves are too complicated anyway. They got like different steps. It's like step 1, cut a slit in the film. Step 2, microwave for 3 minutes. Step 3, take it out, take the film off, mix it up. It's already beyond me. I'm using a microwave. They don't understand this. I don't need that. I can't do that many steps. I just add up the times. I add up the pre-mix and the post-mix time, and I just concatenate it, and that's it. I'm done. But every single time, I should have waited a few more minutes before I put that in my mouth. But, I don't know. Mouth burns all the time. You guys ever, anyone ever boil a lobster? I got a joke that's based on the premise of the noise they make, but I don't actually know if it's true. Did anybody ever boil a lobster and you get like a whistling noise? You know? They say that it's the air escaping from the lobster shell. And then other people, the more dramatic people, kind of say like, well, that's actually the lobster screaming. It's like, no, it's just a physical thing that's going on. But there's new events. I saw something in the news, and it may lend some credence to the fact that it is a vocalization when you put them in the water. There was a chef in Maine who thought that it was kind of inhumane to boil lobsters alive. So she said, I'm going to get them high on marijuana before I boil them. And when she got the lobsters high on marijuana and boiled them, they didn't make that noise. They went, not cool, bro, don't boil me. Anyway. Well, we're going to get you guys back to some music here. Mr. John Harris is going to come up and take the mic, and I appreciate you guys listening for a couple of minutes and having a good Halloween.
Can I get the Browski?